The Total Operational Performance System is actually an integrated management system that helps you optimize your performance throughout your entire company. It's necessary for us to be able to work together and understand how important it is that we don't operate in silos, but we actually work together as a team in an integrated management system to make your companies the most successful that they could possibly be. As you've heard me say in numerous other speeches, simply by working in the food industry, we have an obligation to protect our food supply and to protect the consumers and the public health. In the same light, we also want to protect our employees, that your employees are indeed the greatest asset that you have in your company. Every single employee is going to jeopardize or promote the safety of that product every single time they touch it. So we want to make sure that they're doing it right 100% of the time. So you have to go to that next level to give them the understanding of not only what do I need to do, but why do I need to do it? And when you think about the slides that Jeff illustrated for us today, when you move to the level of mastery, they have to have the knowledge that they need, so they've been trained, so they know what they need to do, and they have to have confidence to know how to do it, and then you help get the commitment by helping them understand why do they need to do the things they need to do. And that's when they'll do the right thing, whether you're looking at them or whether you're not. All of this sounds good in theory, but what we really have to decide now is how can we practically implement this in each one of your manufacturing facilities? And that goes back to the company commitment. It's not good to have a metric, just be able to pass an audit score, because your food safety focus needs to be a lot more than just 3 days of the week or 3 days of the year when you happen to be going through an SQF or a BRC audit. We have to have a commitment that you have the procedures in place and you know that they work, that they control the hazards that they've been identified, and then you do that in a sanitary environment. We're really talking about employees who are trained and who handle the products properly, again, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, every time they touch that product. And they're doing it with validated procedures. And that's how we're going to make sure that we assure the safety of your food products itself, because we've all heard and seen the horrific and the catastrophic events that can occur from failures in these systems. Then secondly, let's take a deeper dive into the quality. Your quality of your product could be very high, it could be low, it's going to be based on your price points and your specifications, but the key is you should be making consistent quality product to be able to meet and exceed those customer expectations. What we want to do is have a system where every employee knows and accepts their responsibility, and that includes specifications. And within your specifications, you have to identify what are the key components and characteristics of those products. And then you need the SPC systems in place so you can measure that and see, are you hitting your target, or are you operating within an acceptable range from upper limits and lower limits, and how much is your standard deviation in that process, to where you actually measure it and then see if you are and can you prove to your customers you're providing a consistent quality product to them. And then the third area here is maximizing yields, okay? And there's such an impact and opportunity on profitability to be able to go through this process. And to be able to accomplish that, there's got to be standards in place for the yields. At each one of the major manufacturing processes, you need to be able to have a standard, and you need to be able to measure those yields so you know whether it's going through a manufacturing step or a cooking step or a packaging step, or looking at your total product yield all the way from green to finished weight, of are you meeting those yield results and expectations, and are you measuring the variance from that? Can you tell, based on the volume that's been produced and the value of that product, how much did you lose in yield for a given day, or how much did you make from a positive impact on yields? But the key is to continually reinforce that message that we can't and we shouldn't sacrifice safety or quality because of yield or because of productivity. Because if you sacrifice those things, it's going to have an impact on your bottom line. So when you set the productivity system up in place, there should be staffing standards, so you know exactly how many employees are necessary on each line and how many support employees are necessary for the overall operation. Then there should be efficiency standards for each one of the lines, so you know what the target volume throughput is and what the speed of those lines are, and then how much time should be necessary for it. And then the line efficiency reporting, so you know exactly on a daily basis. And how did the lines perform? If you take the TOPS concept and use Alchemy to reinforce it, there's 2 or 3 great ways to do that. So one is when you identify needs in the plant where additional training is required, you can actually use Creator or use some of the baseline programs to be able to address that, specifically around SOPs. And then the second thing is using the coach application. That the coach application is a great tool that you can use in the plant, and you can create observations within the coach application to go back and reinforce and then record all that in the coach system. So I think Alchemy's got great solutions.